Hello, hello, hello. I am the Linux Mensch. On the first of the month, Arch Linux always comes out with a brand new ISO. And of course, this brand new ISO is not for updating your system, it's for brand new installs only. So today I'm going to download the ISO and verify it. And then I'm going to put it onto a thumb drive. So let's get to it. So right now I'm in my real bare metal computer. I am running Arch Linux with the awesome window manager. And I'm going to open up the Brave browser. I'm going to right click it and I have it right here in my menu. So I'm going to click it on. Now I'm in the Brave browser. And this water is really nice. It's really cool. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to type in archlinux.org. I'm going to go to this download page right here, click it on, and here you can see the current release ISO is January 1st, which is today, 2025. And the ISO size is 1.3 gigabytes. It used to be 780 megabytes, then it went up to 850 megabytes and 900 megabytes, then it was a gig, and it slowly crawled up to 1.3 gig. Now it's still a smaller ISO than many other Linux distributions. So now I'm going to scan down. These are mirrors from the whole world. You got mirrors here from every country. So I'm going to scan right down. Sorry for going so fast. And then I'm going to go to the United States of America, even though I'm in Canada. And I'm going to click on this constant mirror. I use it a lot. I'm going to click it on. And oh, I got to make that bigger, eh? How's that? We have all these different ISOs. And I always like to download the ISO that has the date in it. You don't have to. Now you can see the ISOs are 1.3 gigabytes. You could download that ISO there, but I prefer to download the ISO with the date on it, which would be this one. I like to have the date on it. That way I always know which ISO it is. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to another page and open up a terminal. Let's open up Xterm. And I'm going to make a folder for it. So I'm going to do already have a folder for ISOs, and I have a folder for Arch, and I'm going to make a folder for the July Arch ISO. Let's cd into ISO, let's cd into Arch, and let's ls it. So you see, I already have the June ISO in there, or a June folder. So I'm going to make a folder for July. I'm going to do mkdir July. And now I'm going to cd into July. I'm going to clear the screen. And of course, there's nothing in there right now, right? Let's clear the screen. And let's go back to my web browser. So now I'm going to click this. And I'm just going to change this. I don't want it to go down into my download folder. I guess I could just move it, but let's just do it this way. And let's click on ISOs. And let's click on Arch. And let's click on July. And let's save it. And oh no, couldn't be downloading that fast. No way. Are you serious? It's usually a relatively fast download, but never is it downloading that fast. That's really amazing. So while it's downloading, it's almost finished. You can see it here. You can download the B2 subtext from this particular mirror and the SHA-256 subtext from this particular mirror. And you can also download the signature from this particular mirror, but I never download the signature or the B2 subtext or the SHA-256 subtext. I never download the verification text from the same mirror where I download the ISO. I always download the verification texts from the main page of the Arch Linux website. Why? Because I think it's safer. Anyways, that download is done. Look at that, 1.3 gig. Look how fast that downloaded. Wow. Let's go back to here. And you know what? I should make this larger, right? Okay, so let's ls it now. So we see we have the ISO there, and we can ll it, and we can see it's 1.3 gigabytes. So let's just clear the screen, and let's go back to Brave browser, and let's go back to the main page, and I'm going to download the verification text from here. So this is the main download page, and I'm going to get the signature here. I'm not taking the signature from the mirror. I am taking it from the main Arch Linux web page rather than from the mirror. And I'm going to save it in my July folder. And that's done. Then the SHA, I'm going to download these two texts, the SHA-256 text and the B2sum text. Instead of clicking it on, I'm going to right click it. I'm going to right click. I'm going to save link as, and I'm going to save it in there. And I'm going to do the same thing for this B2sum text. I'm not going to click it on. I'm going to right click it and I'm going to save link as, and I'm going to save it. Okay, so while we're on the main download page, I'm going to click on this installation guide and I'm going to make that a bit larger. And I'm going to scan down. If you're running another Linux distribution and you want to verify this ISO, this is going to be the command that you use. But if you're running archlinux and you want to verify the ISO, you're going to run this command. Okay. Now, you got to realize that both these commands have like a fake ISO in them. So you're going to have to alter the command, right? So for instance, in this top command, if you're, verifying this in Ubuntu or Linux Mint or some other Linux distribution, you're going to have to run this command, but you're going to have to change this part to be the actual Arch Linux ISO that you're verifying, right? Because here it just says Arch Linux version, right? And the same thing with this command. So I'm going to use this command because I'm already running Arch Linux. I just want to verify this ISO. But again, I'm going to have to change the command because it just says Arch Linux version here. So actually, the only part I really need is this part. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go back to my terminal and I'm just going to ls it. So you see the Arch Linux ISO is there. The ISO signature is there. This is the B2sum text and this is the SHA text. The signature is going to verify that the ISO is signed by one of the developers. These two sum texts are going to verify that the ISO was downloaded with its full integrity and there's no problems with the ISO. The ISO was not damaged or altered in any way. So now I'm going to go back. I think I might need to recopy that thing. So I'm going to copy this. Like I said, I don't need the second part because it just says Arch Linux version. You have to have the actual Arch Linux thing on it. So the second part I don't need. I'm just going to copy this first part. So let's copy it. And let's go back to my terminal. And I'm going to insert it in. And then I'm going to go to the end. I'm going to leave a space. And I'm going to type in Arch. I'm going to tab it. And you just want to make sure you tab the right one. You have the right one there, the one with the dot signature at the end. You don't want the dot ISO at the end. You want the dot signature at the end. And I'm going to hit enter. And it's checking the signature. And there it is. Good signature from Pierre Schmitz. So we verified the signature. So now I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to ls it. And now I'm going to verify the B2sum text. So this is the command I'm going to type in. And if I typed it right, it should work. Hit enter and let's just wait a moment. And there it is. It's okay. So now I'm going to test the SHA-256 sum text and I'm going to type it in like this and I'm going to hit enter. It's just going to take a moment and it's okay. So we verified that the Arch Linux ISO that we downloaded is signed by one of the developers, Pierre Schmidt, and we verified the two sum text to show that the ISO was downloaded with its full integrity and it wasn't altered or damaged in any way. Now I'm going to clear the screen. So here I have a 16 gig USB thumb drive. I'm going to plug it in and I'm going to put the ISO on this thumb drive so I can use it to boot into a computer and do an Arch Linux install on a real bare metal computer, or I can use it to do a repair. I'm going to plug it into my computer now. And I'm just going to do an lsblk and I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to do an ls and you have to be in root. And the way I'm going to put the ISO on the thumb drive, this method doesn't work with sudo. Why? I have no idea. But it doesn't work with sudo. You have to actually switch into root. So I'm going to do switch into root and I'm going to put root's password in. I'm going to hit enter. Okay, and now I'm just going to do an lsblk again. You want to make sure you're doing the right drive. So the thumb drive is plugged into SDB. SDA is my hard drive. It's a 2 terabyte hard drive. And of course, like I already mentioned many times, it's running Arch Linux with the awesome window manager. And the 16 gig thumb drive is plugged into SDB. You have to make sure you get that right. And like I said, you have to be in root. And now I'm going to type in this command, copy, Hey, and I've also brought up a stopwatch. So we're going to time this. So this is the command. We're going to CP for copy. You have to make sure you're copying the ISO and not the one with the signature at the end of the file. And we're going to leave a space and we're going to do /dev/SDB. Now we're not going to do SDB1, we're going to do SDB. And of course you have to make sure you don't do SDA because you don't want to copy it to your hard drive. Okay. Now I'm going to start the stopwatch and I'm going to go here and I'm going to hit enter. Now it looks like it's stuck. It looks like nothing is happening, but it's actually copying the archlinux ISO onto the thumb drive. So you can use it to boot up it onto a real bare metal computer to do an install of archlinux or to do a repair of an existing archlinux system that you're having trouble booting into. And that's it. It finished. Let's pause it. So it took what, 45 seconds? I was a bit slow. I didn't realize it was going to be that fast because my hand wasn't on the mouse. So it's showing here 50 seconds, but it only took 45 seconds really because it took me 5 seconds to go and pause the stopwatch. Now let's just make this full screen and let's exit out of here and let's clear the screen. And what I'm going to do is lsblk again, and I'm going to do sudo mount dev sdb1, leave a space, mnt, and it's asking for my password. And now I'm going to clear the screen, lsblk. So now we can see sdb1, it's mounted to mount. So now I'm going to switch into mount, and I'm going to clear the screen again, and I'm going to do ll. So now we can see on this USB thumb drive, we have the archlinux ISO, and it's bootable. Look at that, it took 50 seconds. Isn't that amazing? CD out of there, lsblk, and I'm going to do umount dev, and it's umount, it's not unmount. There's no N in umount. I always used to think it was unmount, but it's umount dev sdb1. And I think I have to put a sudo in here. Sudo. And now let's do lsblk. Now let's clear the screen, lsblk, and now we can see it's no longer mounted. And now I'm going to open up another workspace. Let's do workspace 4. And I'm going to open up Nemo. So you can see right here, we have the archlinux ISO 2025-07, the July archlinux ISO. And we can click it on, and there it is there, Arch 2025-07. So now I want to power off my thumb drive before I pull it out. And there's a few ways you could do it. Number one, you could open up GNOME disks, highlight it here. This is the easiest way to do it. And just hit this button here. And if you hit this button here, it's going to power off the thumb drive. And it's, you don't really have to do it, but I think it's safer to power it off when you pull it out. Or you can just do it in a terminal. And now I'm going to insert this command. Now I have an alias for this command because I can never remember it. And in my Zesh configuration file, I have an alias for it. And if you downloaded my Zesh configuration file, you're going to have it as well. But that's the command. Type in that command. It's going to power off your thumb drive. So I'm going to use my alias. But if you don't have my Zesh configuration file, you can use this. Now, of course, well, let's put it back in there for a sec. My alias is programmed to SDB. So if you're powering off a thumb drive that is SDC or SCD or whatever it may be, then you're going to have to change this last part to whatever it is. And my alias is programmed for SDB. So I'm just going to do power off. Like I said, my alias is programmed for SDB. I'm going to hit enter. Now I'm going to do lsblk, and you can see my thumb drive is turned off. It's disconnected, and it's safer to pull it out this way. So now I'm going to pull it out. And here it is, my 16 gig thumb drive with the archlinux July 2025 ISO on it. You can use it to do an install on bare metal computer or to repair a bare metal computer that's running archlinux. And that's it. In this video, I showed you how to download the July 2025 archlinux ISO, which is only supposed to be used for new installations or repair. It's not, you shouldn't be using it to update your system. I showed you how to verify the signature. I showed you how to verify the two sum texts, and I showed you how to put it onto a thumb drive, a bootable thumb drive in the terminal. And I also showed you how to power off using GNOME disks or how to power off your thumb drive in the terminal. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like it and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I am the Linux Mensch.